Hello Bitzbox, this is Craig from Bitzbox.co.uk here with another conversion video. So in this one, I'm making a group of Vigilantes for Necromunda. So essentially they're going to be using the Power Knight rules. I really like the Power Knight weaponry, but I'm not a great fan of them themselves. And I quite like the idea of having sort of a ragtag bunch of sort of Vigilantes basically. Just regular people who are sort of taking the law into their own hands, which is probably something that happens quite often in Necromunda, I'm sure. So yeah, they're trying to sort of maintain some sort of law and balance, but they're unofficially. And I thought, yeah, with the release of the new Outcast box, I thought mixing some of these with some Subjugator bits and Enforcer bits and any other little bits and pieces that I find would be really cool. So yeah, let's hit the desk and get straight into this. Okay, so for the Subjugator Sergeant, I'm actually going to be basing him off Cal Jericho. Beautiful miniature here. I actually gifted this for Christmas before the one was just gone, and I've only got around to opening it. And yeah, so what I've done is I've chopped off his little hair pieces, which were attached to them bits of body, and glued the rest of it together. Just left off the head and the arm. And I plan on taking this gun off as well and replacing it with one of these lovely Subjugator grenade launchers. And I think this arm, even though the hands look smaller, I think it'll be alright. His hands, I don't know, they just look a little bit large to me. It's because he's got gloves on. Maybe they're just large gloves. But I think this one will work just as well. And I think if I chop it off here and sort of stick on like that, I'm going to have to chop it at an angle, I think, because this is sort of angled slightly. It should work. I guess we'll find out. No going back once I chop this. But yeah, I think I'm going to chop it. Well, I'll chop it there. And then I think I'll fill in the gap, because otherwise I think it might be too short. So I think something like that, with some gap filled in, might just work. Yes, this little bit here, which is causing the issue, I mean, that could be chopped down a little bit. Yeah, I think that should be okay. I just worried that if I was to do this at an angle, it would look a bit too stubby. But I had to get that big old sleeve off. Yes, I think something like that with the gap filled will work. So yeah, I'll get some green stuff together and do all that off camera, but before that I was thinking I might replace this little holster as well. Obviously his holsters are both empty, as the miniatures holding both his pistols, but of course this one won't be. So I could put this on there. I mean, technically he's only going to have one pistol, but that doesn't really matter. But yeah, I thought that could be replaced there. So I should have done this before I put them together. I was just going to come off his base. I don't think that's dry. Never mind. It might be easier actually if he wasn't on the base. Chop it off there. It looks quite ugly, but this should cover that whole area up quite nicely. So yeah, I'll get all that glued up and I'll be back. Okay, so in the end I've actually gone with this pose. Now the reason being is with these, the hand's not perfectly straight, it's off at an angle as you can see there, and I just thought that looked a bit weird having the arm outstretched and then angling the wrist slightly. So in the end, I mean, I don't like this pose as much, but you know, he's got the gun up, he's sort of grenade launcher up, and he's holding it on that sort of slightly sideways sort of firing pose. It's okay. It's not ideal. I did think about switching the whole arm for an Enforcer one. That might just be a bit too much work. It's just stuck on the green stuff at the moment. I have considered doing that as well. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure, so I might just leave that off for now. I'll keep a bit of green stuff. I'll try and take off a bit of green stuff. And yeah, we'll see. It looks like it is just going to be that though. But yeah, that's the thing sometimes when you convert and you can't always do it exactly how you want. Of course, I could have just replaced the gun and kept the original hand. That might have been the better idea, maybe. I'm not sure. It'll go back on easy enough. And then I could just replace the gun. I may do that. But anyway, one thing I do know I'm going to do is he has a space on the back here where his sword should go. Of course, these can't take swords. So I'll put some glue on there and stick on these pouches from the enforcers. No, from subjugators, sorry. Oh, sorry, we're getting shot. They have really amazing pouches, and I really like them, and they cover up this whole back area really nicely. So yeah, they're going on. Yeah, maybe it'll be a case of just reattaching that hand. Luckily these clippers cut quite cleanly. Put a little bit of green stuff to fill the gaps. Because I do like the pose of the outstretched gun. Yeah, okay, that's what we're going to do. And then I can just replace his other hand. Use the same hand from Cal Jericho. And replace that just with like a stub gun or something. Yep, that sounds like a plan. So yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I'll be back. Okay, that's gone on pretty well. A little bit of green stuff to fill the gap in there, which I'll file down, smooth down a little bit as it dries a bit more. Yeah, it actually goes on quite well. I'm thinking of extending the barrel out a little bit though, just maybe using like a bit of this sniper rifle barrel. Now I've got a couple of these sniper rifles, luckily, because I do want to use one on one of the other heroes. But I'm thinking, just to make it look a bit beefier and make him sort of stand out. Well, I mean, he's going to stand out anyway, but yeah, I just want to make it look a bit different to a normal one. Yeah, I mean, I can sacrifice this if it looks rubbish. I just won't use it. I won't be this long, but I just want to check like the width is alright. Even just having like just a little bit extra on it. I don't want it to look like it's got a silencer because that would just be weird, but just to make it look like it's got an extra long barrel. So I'm going to try and carefully just chop maybe a third of this. And the rest of it just flies on full. Get that glued on. Oh, no, it's not straight. Try and get it to an angle where it's gonna look okay. File that down a bit better, I think. But let's just get it in the position. I think that's okay. Yeah, it's just an extra little bit on there. I think it'll be alright. I think maybe once that's dry, just file the end down a bit. And I'd love to be able to drill it out actually, but I don't think I've got a small enough drill bit. But yeah, just something a little bit extra on that. And yeah, just need to make sure that has plenty of time to dry. As I film these videos, I only have like a limited time to do them, so I don't always have a lot of drying time in between clips. I don't know, people have been critical of that in the past, but it worked out alright before because it, you know, sometimes, you know, if that green stuff had cured on that last bit, I wouldn't have been able to take the arm off as easily. So, yeah, a couple of things left then. The hand there. Which, yeah, I think I'm just going to have his other hand with a stub gun in it. Okay, so I've got his other hand here, which that's this las pistol on there, but we don't want that. So I've got a stub gun and I've chopped it like so. So the idea is that it will go on there. Then I don't have to lose that finger there, If you can see that, it's a little trigger finger right there. And that should hopefully fit on there. I just got to straighten up just a little bit, but that works quite well. And yeah, even like the little trigger guard, where is it? Sort of almost lines up. So that's pretty cool. I'll just take out this little bit in there, of course. Just carefully cut that out and sort of bend that back. Yeah, so I'll get that straightened up and glued together, and I'll glue that on, and then we've just got to work out his head and get this arm securely in place. Okay, so here's how he is looking. If it wants to focus on him, there we go. And yeah, I'm really happy with how the gun turned out. Actually, I thought it turned out pretty good. So, I've got a couple of bits for the head. So I don't know what the hat's actually from. It's not GW. And then this is from the Outcast set. Lovely mould line going right down the middle, as all the heads in that set seem to have. He will need his neck chopped. So, well, this one of them awkward ones I'm going to chop around, like so, just so I can then get to where I want to go, just roughly there. I need to fill a little bit of gap there, possibly. Might need a bit of chopping down on this bit. Maybe just get a knife in there, just scrape away just a little bit. Yeah, maybe just need a tiny little blob of green stuff. So obviously with this mohawk, he's not going to have a hat fit on his head, so that's got to go. And the hat might go on alright, because it's hollow in the middle, which is really nice, and maybe have a brim. Oh, that looks really good actually, I like that. I like that a lot. So yeah, I'll get that cleaned up, glued on, and then we'll have a look at the final miniature. And here he is. I like him. I think he's very cool, got that sort of cowboy look going on. And yeah, I guess he's quite different to the Cal Jericho miniature, which is nice. It works. He looks nothing like a subjugator sergeant, but that's kind of the idea. Yeah, really happy with that one. Certainly, I would have liked him to be the leader of the whole gang, but if you have a subjugator leader, then you've got to take a couple of subjugator gangers, and I don't really want to do that. I just want sort of more regular enforcers, because that'll fit their sort of ragtag sort of bunch. The subjugators seem a bit too elite, which is alright for the odd character, but maybe not for so many of them. But yeah, really happy with this one. So this is just my other sergeant, and yeah, alright, it's a bit of a cop out, this one. I've literally just used a regular Pal Knight Enforcer with a head swap. I quite like the idea of him being like maybe a retired enforcer who's sort of come out of retirement and still got his gear and helping this vigilante group. I just really like the kneeling down one, and I want sniper, and they just, I don't know, it just goes hand in hand for me, having a kneeling down pose with a sniper, so I thought it was the best way to do it. Obviously I've got to trim up, neaten up the barrel and whatnot, but get him in the middle. But yeah, the head is from an old Empire miniature, I believe. I can't tell you which set off the top of my head. Probably like the Cannon or something like that. It's definitely one they don't do anymore. You can see the lighter shade of the plastic. Still GW plastic, but it was a much lighter shade back then. Whether that's interesting for anyone or not, I don't know. But yeah, you can see the difference though. Okay, so this guy is going to be our leader. And yeah, I've built this much off camera because I wasn't 100% sure if it was going to work or be an absolute failure. And it's not been too bad. So this is the body from the demon host from Blackstone Fortress, believe it or not. And then the legs are from the outcast sprue. And I've had to chop away quite a lot of the legs. Actually, behind this little sort of cloth thing here, there's literally no legs there at all. They're just cut down to what you can see. And then I've managed to get them glued in. And then, yeah, there's a little bit of tabard or cloth or whatever is just from them legs, which I've glued back on. You can see there's a little bit of a gap, but it doesn't really matter too much. And yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare to do. A lot of scraping away on the inside, trying to clip away as much of the demon host legs as possible. But got there, and there's something quite unique. And yeah, it's going to make a good base for our leader. So, weapon-wise, he's just going to be armed with what's on the box, which is the concussion carbine and the shock ban. So, got a couple of arms here. Now, there's a little bit of arm which was on the demon host that I've chopped off. And then here we've just got like a gap, which I'll fill with green stuff. So, I'll show you this arm as an example. So this is going to be for the shock ban. I'm going to take off all this, and then hopefully that should go on there quite nicely. It's a little bit thicker, I think, than what we've got here. Not much, mind you. I'll flatten it out. But yeah, you can have the arm up like that, and then maybe the baton sort of going above his head. Sort of like that. Quite like that. That's what I'm going to do. And then this one, I've got a bent arm for the gun, which again we'll chop off at the same point, and I'll get some green stuff rolled. And then that will be maybe up as well. So he's got this little pose walking along. I think it'll work. You'll find out very soon. Okay, so here's how he's looking. I've got to neaten up that sort of green stuff up there a little bit. I put a little bit of green stuff in the gap there just to help. I'll file that down smooth once it's dry. Yeah, it looks okay. I'm not a massive fan of guns being held like this, but he's sort of doing this running pose. It's not completely dry, so I could alter it a little bit, but yeah, that's what I've gone with. So for the head, I've got this one with a little bit of green stuff on the neck. This is another Empire head. I don't have a lot of choice here because there's not much space, so not a lot of heads are going to fit in this gap. But I do quite like this one. It's got that sort of aged appearance, which I quite like for leaders, make them nice and experienced. And yeah, there's little bits of green stuff you can see which will need to be neatened up. I don't really like working with green stuff much, you can probably tell, but yeah, that's him. That's his back. Oh god, focus. I'm not sure there's really much room to add anything else. He's got his holster for his stub gun. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I think he's going to be a pretty cool leader. So yeah, once all the green stuff is dry, I'll super glue stuff in place, and he'll be done. I don't know what's going on with the leg there. We can just use that as battle damage. Yeah, quite happy with him. So I'll show you the rest of them. Okay, so I'll show you a couple at a time. There's not really much to show for these. They are essentially outcasts with Pal Knight Enforcer arms. Again, some nice green stuff for me to file down and cut away at once it's dry. The arms are a little bit long, but not massively. I can live with them. Live with that. Focus. And again, I'll have to tidy up these little mould lines. I think they look okay. So yeah, they kind of fit. They're not the best, but they'll do. You can see on this one, the arms do look a little bit long. I may shorten it down a bit. I'm not too sure. I just like this pose. I do like the pose quite a lot. Again, I've tidied that up there. Got the little bits tied up on there. But she looks pretty cool. I really like this female body that comes in the set. Yeah, she looks pretty cool. And then just last one. So, I actually trimmed the arms right down and just green stuffed the rest. And I think that works a bit better. So his arms don't look too long. So I may consider doing that on some of the others, but I don't think they look terrible, at least. And again, they have these horrible mould lines right down the middle of their faces, which is just awful. I'll be very careful tidying that up. So yeah, I don't know if I can get all them in shot, but yeah, I thought I won't go through the process of showing them, as they're quite straightforward conversions. And here we have them all together. So yeah, I've made 7. I haven't worked out the points for them yet. It should be roughly around 1,000 credits. But I might be wrong. I can always add more or take some out if need be. I probably won't game with them for quite a while, but it'll be a nice little warband to paint up, and they have been great fun to build, especially the 2 that I showed you guys. Been really good fun. I sort of came into this without much of a plan, as you can probably tell, but yeah, I'm quite happy with the results. Again, yeah, maybe these arms may be a little bit too long. I don't know. You can get away with long arms, I think, a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. They'll be easy enough to chop down. But yeah, yeah, I'm quite happy with them. I've got plenty of parts to make some alternatives, so I might just paint these up, and if they don't look too good, I literally could make this exact same miniature. Again, all the parts are here. You get plenty of stuff with these Necromunda kits, which is really, really awesome. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you have, feel free to give it a thumbs up. You can leave comments down below and let me know what you think, or what you'd like to see me tackle next on a conversion video, or just anything really. I do reply to every comment, as much as I can anyway, but I usually do. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, then please feel free to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. You can also click that bell icon to be notified when a new video has gone live on this channel. On the screen now are 2 more videos that you may wish to check out, and a link to our Patreon page also. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.